is Enhance Your English podcast, where real conversations build real confidence. Let's make English easy.
Hey everyone, welcome back to Enhance Your English, the podcast where we learn real, natural English through real, honest conversations. I'm Emma.
And I'm James. And today is a special one.
It really is. James, before we start, can I ask you something personal?
Uh-oh, should I be nervous?
Maybe a little. Okay, have you ever been lying in bed at night, completely exhausted, eyes closed, ready to sleep, and then suddenly your brain just switches on?
Oh yes. Like someone inside my head pressed a button labeled, "Let's review every embarrassing thing you've ever done."
Yes. Or suddenly you're replaying a conversation from 3 years ago thinking, I should have said that instead.
At 2 a.m. while you have work at 8.
Exactly. And then you start worrying about tomorrow, and then about next month. And then somehow you're worrying about something that hasn't even happened yet and might never happen.
And before you know it, it's 4 a.m. and you've solved 0 problems but created about 15 new ones in your head.
Welcome to Overthinking. Population, everyone.
Honestly, I think overthinking is one of the most universal human experiences, and yet nobody teaches us how to deal with it.
Not in school, not at home. You just kind of figure it out. Or you don't, and you just stay anxious forever.
Which is exactly why today's episode exists.
Today, we are diving deep into the world of positive thinking. We're going to talk about how to stop overthinking, how to use positive self-talk in English, and how to stay calm when life gets stressful and pressure feels overwhelming.
And we're going to do it the way we always do. Honestly, with some humor, a lot of real talk, and, of course, useful English expressions you can actually use.
Because here's the thing. Thinking positively isn't about pretending everything is perfect. It's not about forcing a smile when you want to cry.
Right. It's about training your brain to work with you instead of against you. And that's a skill, a learnable skill.
So whether you're someone who overthinks constantly or you just have those occasional spiral moments, this episode is for you.
Let's get into it.
Okay, James, let's start at the beginning. What actually is overthinking?
So, overthinking is when you think about something so much for so long that instead of helping you, it actually makes things worse.
Right. There's normal thinking. You have a problem, you think about it, you find a solution, or you make peace with it. That's healthy.
But overthinking is when you go around and around the same thought in circles, like a washing machine that never stops spinning.
That's such a perfect image. The brain washing machine.
On the highest setting with no off button.
And the frustrating thing is, overthinking feels productive. It feels like you're being responsible, like you're preparing for every possible outcome.
Yes, you think you're being smart and careful, but actually you're just exhausting yourself while changing absolutely nothing.
Overthinking is like sitting in a rocking chair. It gives you something to do, but it doesn't take you anywhere.
Ooh, that's a good one. Where did you hear that?
I read it somewhere and it stuck with me because it's so accurate.
It really is. So why do we overthink? Why does our brain do this to us?
Okay, so our brains are actually designed to look for problems. Way back when humans lived in nature, surrounded by danger, your brain's number one job was to keep you alive.
Spot the threat, prepare for the worst, always be alert.
That was incredibly useful when the threat was a wild animal. Not so useful when the threat is a message you sent that hasn't been replied to yet.
It's been 47 minutes. They must hate me. Our friendship is over. My life is ruined.
Oh, James, have you been reading my thoughts?
We all have those moments. The brain can't fully tell the difference between a real danger and a perceived worry, so it treats both with the same alarm system.
And some people are more prone to overthinking than others. If you grew up in an unpredictable environment, if you've experienced a lot of uncertainty or stress, your brain learned to stay on high alert all the time.
It was a coping mechanism that made sense once, but now it's running when it doesn't need to.
So, the first thing I want everyone to hear is if you overthink, you are not broken. Your brain is just trying to protect you in a slightly chaotic and unhelpful way.
Your brain means well. It's just a bit overdramatic.
Very overdramatic. Okay, so now that we understand what overthinking is and why it happens, let's talk about how to actually stop it.
All right, real strategies. Things that actually work, not just think positive, because honestly, when someone tells you to just think positive when you're spiraling, it's not helpful.
It's the mental equivalent of telling someone who's drowning to just swim.
Exactly. So let's be more practical than that.
First strategy, name what's happening.
So simple, but so powerful.
When you notice your brain starting to spiral, just say to yourself, either out loud or in your head, I'm overthinking right now.
Just naming it creates a tiny bit of distance between you and the thought. You're not in the thought anymore, you're observing it.
Instead of everything is terrible and I don't know what to do, you shift to my brain is doing that overthinking thing again.
And somehow that tiny shift makes the thought feel a little less huge, a little less urgent.
It's like when you're in a scary movie, you're terrified, but the moment someone reminds you it's just a movie, the fear drops a little.
You're reminded you have some control. You can observe the thought without being completely controlled by it.
Second strategy, ask yourself, is this useful thinking or useless thinking?
Ooh, yes, this is a great filter.
Useful thinking, I have a presentation tomorrow, let me prepare. That's thinking with a purpose. It leads somewhere. You can do something about it.
Useless thinking? What if something goes terribly wrong? What if everyone judges me? What if I forget everything? What if...
That's just fear creating more fear. It doesn't help you prepare better, it just makes you more anxious.
So you ask, can I do something about this thought right now? If yes, do it. Make a plan. Take a small action.
If no, if it's something outside your control, something in the future that hasn't happened yet, something you literally cannot change, then you gently remind yourself, thinking about this more will not help.
And you redirect, which brings us to strategy 3, redirect your attention deliberately.
When overthinking starts, your brain needs something else to focus on, something real, something present, something physical.
Because overthinking lives in the future or the past, but your body only exists right now.
So bring yourself back to the present moment. Feel your feet on the floor. Notice 5 things you can see around you. Take 3 slow, deep breaths.
These aren't just breathing exercises. They're ways to tell your nervous system, hey, we're safe right now. The danger is not here.
And your nervous system actually responds to that. Your heart rate slows, your thinking becomes clearer.
It's science, not magic, although it does feel a little like magic when it works.
Fourth strategy, set a worry time.
Okay, this one sounds strange, but hear us out.
Instead of trying to completely suppress your worries, which never really works, you give them a scheduled time.
You say, okay, brain, I hear you. We will think about this, but not now. Tonight at 7 p.m., we will sit down and worry properly.
And when the worry comes up during the day, you say, not now, later. And you actually mean it because you've given it a time.
And often by the time 7 p.m. arrives, the worry doesn't feel as urgent anymore. Your brain just needed to be heard.
It's like a child who keeps interrupting. Sometimes they just need to know they'll get their turn, and then they calm down.
Your brain is literally a dramatic child sometimes.
A very dramatic, very loud child. Fifth strategy, talk to someone.
This one is underrated. So many overthinkers keep everything inside. They think they're being strong, but actually they're just alone with an increasingly loud brain.
Saying a worry out loud to another person, a friend, a family member, a therapist, does something interesting. It makes the worry smaller.
Because in your head, a worry can grow endlessly. There's no limit. But when you say it out loud, it suddenly has to fit into real words, real sentences.
And often you hear yourself say it and think, oh, that actually doesn't sound as catastrophic as it felt inside my head.
Or your friend says, that's not really as bad as you think, and you realize they're right.
Other people can see our situation more clearly than we can because they're not tangled up in the emotion of it.
So talk to someone. Don't carry it alone.
Okay, now let's move into something really practical and really beautiful: positive self-talk.
And I know some people hear positive self-talk and think, that sounds a bit fake. Am I just supposed to lie to myself?
Right, that's such a common reaction, and it's a fair one.
Because if someone tells you to stand in front of a mirror and shout, I am amazing and everything is wonderful, and you're having a terrible day, that feels ridiculous.
And honestly, a little dishonest.
Exactly. So let's clear this up. Positive self-talk is not about denying reality.
It's about speaking to yourself with the same kindness and fairness that you would show to a good friend.
Think about it. If your best friend made a mistake at work and was devastated about it, what would you say to them?
You wouldn't say, "You're so stupid, you always mess up, you're terrible."
Of course not. You'd say something like, hey, it's okay. Everyone makes mistakes. You'll learn from this. You're doing your best.
But when we make a mistake, that is exactly how we talk to ourselves. "I'm so stupid, I always mess up."
The harshest, most critical voice is often our own inner voice, and we hear it constantly, all day, every day.
And that voice shapes how we see ourselves. It shapes what we believe we're capable of. It shapes how we move through the world.
So we need to train that voice, not to be fake or unrealistically positive, but to be fair, to be kind, to be the kind of voice a good friend would use.
So let's look at some real examples of negative self-talk and how to shift them. And these are in English, so you're also learning useful phrases at the same time.
First one, negative thought. I can't do anything right.
This is what we call an absolute statement. Can't do anything right. Anything. Ever. That's not true. It's an exaggeration created by frustration.
Shift to, I made a mistake this time. I'm learning and I'll do better.
Specific, honest, and leaves room for growth.
Second one, everyone must think I'm so boring or stupid.
Mind reading. You're assuming you know what other people are thinking, and you're assuming the worst.
Shift to, I don't know what others think, and I'm focusing on being myself.
Third one, I'll never be good enough.
Never. Such a heavy word, and so final, like the story is already over.
Shift to, I'm working on growing every day. Good enough is not a fixed destination, it's a direction.
That's beautiful, Emma.
Thank you. I've been practicing. Fourth, I'm so bad at English, I'll never speak properly.
Oh, this one is for our lovely listeners directly.
Shift to, English is challenging and I'm still learning. Every time I practice, I'm getting better.
True, honest, and encouraging, without pretending it's easy.
Fifth, negative, I always panic under pressure, I'm weak.
Shift to, feeling nervous is normal. I've handled difficult situations before, and I can handle this too.
See the pattern? We're not lying to ourselves. We're just being fair. We're choosing language that is accurate and kind.
Because your brain believes what you tell it repeatedly. If you tell yourself you're hopeless, your brain accepts that as fact. If you tell yourself you're learning and growing, your brain accepts that too.
Words have power, especially the ones we say to ourselves.
So choose them carefully. Talk to yourself like someone you love, because you are someone worth loving.
I love that, James.
I've been reading books.
It shows. Okay, let's also give you some beautiful daily affirmations and self-talk phrases you can start using in your English practice.
And you can use these in the morning, before something stressful, or anytime your inner critic gets too loud.
Here we go.
James, I am doing the best I can with what I have right now.
Emma, I don't have to be perfect. I just have to keep going.
James, it's okay to feel nervous. It means I care.
Emma, I've been through hard things before. I can get through this too.
James, my thoughts are not facts. I can choose what to believe.
Emma, I'm allowed to take up space. My voice matters.
James, today I choose to be kind to myself.
Emma, progress, not perfection.
All right, let's talk about pressure. Because life will always bring pressure. You cannot avoid it.
Deadlines, difficult conversations, job interviews, exams, unexpected problems, relationship stress. Pressure is part of being alive.
And the goal is not to eliminate pressure. The goal is to learn how to move through it without falling apart.
Staying calm under pressure is a skill. And like all skills, you can get better at it with practice.
So let's talk about what actually helps.
First, breathe on purpose.
I know, just breathe sounds too simple, but there's actual science behind why it works.
When you're under pressure, your body goes into what's called fight or flight mode. Your heart beats faster, your muscles tighten, your thinking becomes narrow and reactive.
This is your body preparing to deal with danger. Very helpful if you're running from something. Not very helpful when you're trying to think clearly in a stressful meeting.
Slow, deep breathing directly activates your parasympathetic nervous system, which is basically your body's calm down system.
Try this. Breathe in slowly for 4 counts. Hold for 4 counts. Breathe out slowly for 6 counts. Do this 3 times.
Those 30 seconds can genuinely change how you feel in your body. And when your body calms, your mind follows.
Second, slow down before you respond.
Under pressure, we often rush. We react quickly because it feels like there's no time to think. But that rushing usually makes things worse.
Taking even 5 seconds before you respond to an angry email, a stressful question, a difficult situation, those 5 seconds can change everything.
You move from reacting, which is automatic and often regrettable, to responding, which is thoughtful and intentional.
React versus respond. Big difference.
Third, focus only on what is in your control.
When pressure is high, our minds tend to expand to fill all the possible things that could go wrong, including things completely outside our control.
And worrying about things outside your control is pure wasted energy. You're spending mental fuel on something you literally cannot influence.
So ask yourself, what can I actually do right now? And then focus your energy entirely on that.
Let go of everything else, not because it doesn't matter, but because your energy is too valuable to spend on things you can't change.
Fourth, change your relationship with pressure itself.
This one is a mindset shift. A lot of people see pressure as the enemy, something to be avoided, something that means something is wrong.
But pressure often exists because something matters to you. You feel nervous before a presentation because you care about doing well. You feel pressure in a difficult conversation because the relationship matters.
Pressure is not a sign you can't handle something. It's often a sign you're engaged with something meaningful.
Try shifting from, I'm so stressed about this, to, I'm excited and I care about this.
Physiologically, stress and excitement feel very similar in the body. Elevated heart rate, heightened awareness, energy in your chest.
But the label you give that feeling changes everything. I'm terrified keeps you stuck. I'm ready moves you forward.
And fifth, have a pre-pressure routine.
Athletes have these, musicians have these, public speakers have these. A short personal ritual you do before something stressful to center yourself.
It could be 3 deep breaths and a specific phrase you say to yourself. It could be a short walk. It could be listening to one particular song that makes you feel strong and ready.
It could be a physical gesture, rolling your shoulders, standing tall, feeling your feet on the ground.
The routine itself matters less than the consistency. When you do the same thing every time before pressure, your brain starts to associate that routine with, it's okay, we've got this.
Your brain is trainable. Routines teach it what's coming and how to respond.
And sixth, take care of your baseline.
Meaning, how you feel under pressure is heavily influenced by how you were already feeling before the pressure arrived.
If you're sleep deprived, if you haven't eaten properly, if you've been running on stress for weeks without any recovery, you will crumble under pressure much more easily.
But if your baseline is reasonably okay, decent sleep, some movement, some moments of rest, some connection with people you care about, you're much more resilient.
Resilience is not just a personality trait. It's also a physical state. You build it by taking care of yourself on ordinary days.
So the work of staying calm under pressure actually happens mostly on the quiet, ordinary days, not just during the storm.
Okay, I love this section because we want you to be able to talk about these experiences in English.
With friends, with colleagues, with anyone.
So let's look at some natural English conversations about overthinking, stress, and mental well-being.
Situation 1. Your friend asks how you are and you want to be honest.
Instead of just saying fine, you could say, honestly, I've been in my head a lot lately, just overthinking everything.
Or, it's been a bit of a heavy week mentally. I think I need to reset.
Or, I've been feeling a bit overwhelmed, like there's too much going on at once.
These are honest, natural, and not overdramatic. They open the door for a real conversation.
Situation 2. You want to encourage a friend who is stressed.
You could say, hey, you've got this. I've seen you handle hard things before.
Or, it's okay to feel nervous. That just means you care.
Or, take a breath, one step at a time. You don't have to figure everything out right now.
Or, situation 3. Describing your own anxiety or overthinking to someone.
I have a tendency to overthink things, especially at night.
Or, sometimes I spiral. I start worrying about one thing and then it just grows.
Or, I've been working on being kinder to myself. It's a process.
Or, situation 4. Describing a moment you stayed calm under pressure.
I was really nervous before the presentation, but I took a few deep breaths and just focused on one thing at a time.
Or, there was a lot of pressure at work this week, but I tried not to let it get to me.
Or, I used to panic in stressful situations, but I've learned to slow down and think before I react.
These are beautiful, natural sentences, and they all use vocabulary and expressions we've talked about today. Time for our word tour, the best phrases from today's episode, with clear examples.
Let's go slowly through these. Repeat them. Let them settle.
First, overthink. To think about something too much for too long in a way that causes anxiety rather than solutions.
I tend to overthink small decisions. Even choosing what to eat can take me forever.
Second, spiral. When one anxious thought leads to another, and you go deeper and deeper into worry.
I started worrying about work, and then I spiraled. Suddenly, I was worried about everything in my life.
Third, in my head. When you're distracted by your own thoughts, not fully present in reality.
Sorry, I've been in my head today. I'm just dealing with some things.
Fourth, self-talk, the internal dialogue you have with yourself, the voice inside your head.
I've been working on my self-talk, trying to be less harsh with myself when I make mistakes.
Fifth, inner critic, the part of your mind that judges you, criticizes you, tells you you're not good enough.
My inner critic is very loud when I try something new. It always says I'll fail.
Sixth, affirmation, a positive statement you repeat to yourself to build confidence and a better mindset.
Every morning, I say a few affirmations to start my day with a more positive mindset.
Seventh, under pressure, in a situation where there are high expectations, stress, and a need to perform or decide.
She works really well under pressure. She stays calm when everyone else is panicking.
Eighth, fight or flight, the automatic physical response your body has to stress or danger, preparing to either face it or run from it.
When I have to speak in public, my fight or flight response kicks in immediately.
Ninth, resilience, the ability to recover from difficulties, to bounce back after something hard.
Going through difficult times actually built my resilience. I'm stronger than I thought.
10th, let it go, to stop holding on to a worry, a grudge, or a negative thought and release it.
I know I made a mistake, but I'm trying to learn from it and let it go.
11th, react versus respond. React is automatic and impulsive. Respond is thoughtful and intentional.
In stressful situations, I try to respond rather than react. It makes a big difference.
And 12th, be kind to yourself. To treat yourself with compassion and understanding, especially during difficult times.
You're being way too hard on yourself. Be kind to yourself. You're doing the best you can.
James, before we wrap up, I want to ask you something personal. Has any of what we talked about today actually helped you in real life?
Honestly, yes, but it wasn't overnight. It's been a gradual thing.
Tell us more.
So a few years ago, I was a really bad overthinker, like genuinely exhausting to be inside my own head. I would lie awake every night replaying conversations, worrying about things that hadn't happened. I was anxious almost all the time.
What changed?
A few things. Therapy helped a lot. Being honest with people I trusted instead of pretending everything was fine. And slowly, very slowly, learning to notice when I was overthinking and just naming it, like we talked about.
Just naming it.
It sounds too simple, but it genuinely helps. When I say to myself, oh, I'm spiraling right now, something shifts. I'm not completely controlled by it anymore.
I think a lot of people are waiting for the big dramatic transformation, the day they wake up and they've completely stopped overthinking. And that day probably never comes.
Right. It's more like you gradually get a little better at catching yourself, a little faster at redirecting, a little kinder to yourself when you slip back.
Progress, not perfection.
Always. And for you listening, wherever you are in this journey, you're not alone. Every person you admire, every person who seems calm and confident, they're also having conversations with their inner critic. They've just had more practice managing it.
You can build that practice too, starting today, starting right now.
Be patient, be consistent, and above all, be kind to yourself.
And that is a wrap on today's episode of Enhance Your English.
This was such a meaningful episode to make. I hope it felt like a warm conversation, not a lecture.
Your comment homework today, and we really hope you do this one. Write one sentence of positive self-talk in English, something kind you want to say to yourself.
It can be simple. I am learning and growing every day. That's enough. That's real. That's beautiful.
And we want to read them, so please leave your sentence in the comments. Let's create a little wall of kindness down there.
If today's episode helped you, like this video, share it with someone who might need to hear it, and subscribe to Enhance Your English so you never miss an episode.
Take care of your mind, take care of your heart, and keep learning one conversation at a time.
This is James.
And this is Emma.
And you've been listening to Enhance Your English. See you next time.